Ya, nze Ssali nzize okukiikirira National Council of Sports mu kuziika kwa Obadiah Ssemakula. National Council of Sports eweereza obubaka era nange ne mbuleeta. Obubaka obwo nga bulimu okutendereza Ssemakula ebintu bye yakolera eggwanga n'okuyozayeza famire n'abalala olw'ebibaddewo, nga mulimu obubaka obwo nga mulimu ne kaseete ak'okuyamba ku by'okuziika. Era National Council of Sports ne yeeyama nti bwe binaggwa byonna ejja kutuula ne famire ate boogere ku by'okuyamba famire ebirala. Ne bagamba nti zino ssente zibadde za kukola ki, bya kuziika zokka. Naye nga ekindese si kuba nti nkolera National Council of Sports kyokka ekyo, kindese nti nali musambi wa mupiira ng'abantu abalala nabo olaba bali bane. Era Obadiah Ssemakula ye muntu gwe nali mmanyi okumala ebbanga, gwe manyidde okumala ebbanga, nga kinkwatako ng'omuntu nange, si lwa mirimu gyange naki kinkwatako ng'abasambi b'omupiira bonna abalala. Eddiba of course ddene, naye nga ekisinga obukulu nti bwe tufiirwa omuzannyi owa sports mu Uganda bwe tuba omusambi w'omupiira wano, kikujjukiza obuvunaanyizibwa bwe tulina n'ebyasoba, embeera z'abazannyi ze babeeramu ng'omupiira guwedde nga bamaze okusamba, naddala abaasamba edda ng'omupiira tegulimu ssente nnyingi ng'ate baaweereza eggwanga, n'embeera gye balimu kati ne famire zaabwe abasinga obungi. Kitujjukiza nti tulina obuvunaanyizibwa okutuula wamu ne tutegeeragana ku ngeri ki gye tugenda okuyambaganamu ku kikwatagana ne welfare ey'abantu abaasambira eggwanga. Kintu ekyo kizibu, kimaze emyaka nga kyogerwako naye ng'ebikolwa bizibu. Ekimu ku kye tulina okukola of course fenna abaasamba n'abalala abatutwala kwegatta wamu, tufuna eddoboozi limu nga ly'amaanyi. Enjawukana ze tubeeramu zino eno zigenda ne zitujja ku mulamwa ne zitulemesa okubaako ne kye twogera mu bifo ebituufu okusobola okufuna obuyambi bwe twetaaga. Era kitujjukiza okufanga kuno okwa Obadiah, kutujjukiza nti bannaaye bwe twegatta wamu ne tuteeka ffenna amagezi wamu, tujja kufuna engeri gye tuyambamu ki bannaffe mu mbeera ze tulimu, kubanga ffenna tetuli bumu. Waliwo abakola, waliwo abatakola, waliwo abakaddiye ennyo, waliwo abakyalina amaanyi, waliwo buli omu ng'ensi emitutte gyemututte, naye ng'ate waliwo ekyali kitugatta ate nga kye kisinga okugatta eggwanga lino. Era nga bw'olabye tuva mu mitira gya kyani kino, nga bw'olabye omupiira bwe gugatta eggwanga, nti bano abantu abali mu myaka gy'Obadiah n'abakulu kumusinga n'abato abamusingako be baatandika ekintu ekireeta essanyu mu ggwanga, kubanga ebintu ebisinga ebitali bya bizannyo bitwawula bwawuzi. Kati bwe tulina okuba nti tulina okutuula wamu ne tulowooza, ne tuteesa, ne tufuna eddoboozi limu, ne tufuna engeri gye tuyambamu bannaffe.
Mr. Ssali, would like to tell us what can we do in terms of life after sports, because it has become a noble cause.
It's a big question and it's a tough question. What has happened is that in Uganda, because most sport was amateur, it was not paying for a long time. It pays now in some cases, but still at a very low level. The people who played sport, the people who made sport popular in this country, did not earn from what they did. There was not enough money to make. And so after sport, they have struggled with life. Adjusting to society, fitting in society, and being able to take care of themselves and their families. It has always been a challenge. And so we have got to think about how to do this. Every time we lose somebody, a great man like Obadiah Ssemakula, every time we lose somebody, this conversation comes up again. But once we leave the burial grounds, it dies out in a few weeks. The only way we can sustain the conversation so that we help the people who played, who made us happy, who entertained this country, and who made it great, is if we get together, sit down together, and come up together, put our brains together and come up with long-lasting solutions. One of the problems why we don't do that is because of the divisions that come in individually and in groups. The divisions mean that we don't have a common voice. The divisions mean that we don't have a similar mission. That then everybody then has a different motive for raising their voices and then eventually it does not suit us, because when the messages are scattered and when they have motives which are not for collective but for personal gain, perhaps sometimes, it means that the people we want to talk to will not listen to us. Who are these people? The government of Uganda, the private sector. The private sector has lots of sponsorships and lots of good causes they go after in their corporate social responsibility, which means that if we had the same voice, if we showed them the importance of their attachment, alignment with us, they would actually come up with the packages to help us. If, for example, former footballers had just one body, as professional players associations that you see all over the country, if we had one body, that would mean that we would have one voice. We would be able to have a bag in which everybody drops a small dime, which collectively, because we are in our thousands, hundreds of thousands, which collectively then would mean that when a person like Semakula falls sick, we can go to that bag. But also more importantly, that then it's an organized bag in which others can drop some money. That if you went to government and lobbied as a group and showed cause why you should be helped, government would listen. We blame them a lot sometimes, but it's because we have too many different scattered voices and they don't know who to listen to and what to do. We need one voice, one solution. But also I've talked about those corporate sponsors, and there are so many other people of goodwill. It's not just companies like MTN or Nabua's or Coca-Cola. There are individuals, both in Uganda and in the diaspora, who would want to help because they know what these guys who played football back in the day did for this country. They kept us entertained and they kept this country on the map when everything else was going wrong. We are a country that has been torn apart by civil war and then by politics and things like that. This is the uniting factor. And people appreciate that once we remind them of what it is and then tell them we are organized enough to receive help, that we need help and we can do something about it. So that's what I believe we should do. Get together, put all our differences aside, whatever they are, and remember that the common factor for us was that we played football. Once we can do that, we will go places.
As a National Council of Sports, we must start with the federation because you are apex. And then we talk about the other issue which is affecting our sports.
The National Council of Sports actually encourages all the different federations to find ways to empower the people who go through their hands. And the new sports law actually stipulates that clearly. What happens is that one of the things that has got to be done, and government can drive that. Like I told you, if the voice is organized from federation level down to the players level, if that voice is organized, there's different ways of empowering people. It's not just putting money in their pockets or in their hands. There's training. There are so many things we can do after football or after sports generally, which we are not doing. Are people doing coaching courses? Who's helping them to pay for them and who's helping them to actually qualify? Are people doing courses to be physios, to be masseurs, to be in management, to be in administration? Can they be trained to be accountants to count the little money that comes into football clubs or into individuals' pockets? Can they be trained to be agents? Because that is a very lucrative business these days. Can they be trained to be other things? Can they do sports science later and become administrators or even doctors? Or there's so many things that we can do in terms of empowering people to have a life after sport. So for them to continue to be productive and to make some money while at it. But these things we are not doing in an organized manner because, like I said, we don't have one voice. That's what we need.
As a National Council of Sports, you have a committee. Lastly, as you are winding up, you have the committee which is following that process because it's very important.
Yes, there's a technical.
And they must be squeezed. And then
yes, there's a technical team which does what we call monitoring and evaluation of federations. That technical team is now going to be guided by the new law that I told you, and the new law is more detailed than the old one. The new one, which has come into effect since 2023, it's more detailed than the old one in guiding on some of these matters. And federations, of course, are going to be held more accountable about those actions. And in all honesty, even if the complaints are there, because money can never be enough, the truth of the matter is that National Council of Sports, government through National Council of Sports, is actually giving federations a lot more money these days than it used to. and some of it can actually go into empowering them. Like I said, it's very difficult to get thousands of players, 4 players, and start giving each one money. But you can empower them in different ways. Like I just give you some examples. They can be empowered in different ways to continue to be productive after football, and therefore earn some money and stay alive, stay healthy, help their families.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.